Hey yo guys, what is up? MTG is back in with a review. In today's video, we're looking at a interesting deck that is a black-white deck called Suicidal Tendencies. It is a quite cheap modern deck, $251 roughly. So I'd say the $220 to $250 range, depending on how you get your cards. But yeah, pretty good deck, and it's pretty budget friendly for modern at least. We have 15 creatures to start us off here. Now, we do have a maybe board. I'm not going to go over those today, but you can definitely search them up later on your own time if you're interested. 2 Death's Shadow. For 1 black, 13/13, it gets -X, where X is your life total. Very powerful card, and you see this actually quite a bit in Modern. 3 Viscera Seer. 1 black, 1/1, sacrifice a creature, and scry 1. Pretty good just to help you search through your deck and find what you need to win the game. Carrier Thrall, 1 in a black, 2/1. When it dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield, and it has sacrifice this creature to add a colorless to your mana pool. Pretty good card. 3 Vault Scourge, 1 in a black or 2 life. Flying lifelink, 1/1. Not a bad card at all, and it's good to sacrifice to Viscera Seer. And 4 Wall of Blood, 2 in a black, 0/2. Pay 1 life, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and it does have Defender effectively, cannot attack. On to our instance, we have 3 Hollow. 1 white, prevent all damage target spell would deal this turn. You gain life equal to the prevented damage this way, or the damage prevented this way. 2 Path to Exile, very common white modern card here. Instant exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle their library. 3 Dawn Charm, 1 in a white. Choose 1 instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, or regenerate target creature or counter target spell that targets you. And finally, 4 Plunge into Darkness, 1 in a black instant. Choose 1, sacrifice any number of creatures, then you gain 3 life for each sacrificed creature, or pay X life, then look at the top X cards of your library, put one of those cards into your hand, and remove the rest from the game, and entwine for 1 black, so you can do both. We have 20 lands, 2 Boseiju, who shelters all. Legendary land, Boseiju, who shelters all, comes into play tapped. Tap it to pay 2 life. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool. If that mana is spent on an instant or sorcery spell, that spell cannot be countered by spells or abilities. 2 Detection Tower, tap it to add a colorless. 1 and tap it until end of turn. Your opponents and creatures your opponents control with hexproof can be the target of spells or abilities you control as though they didn't have hexproof. Pretty good. 4 Godless Shrine, white, black, shockland. 3 Isolated Chapel, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or plains, and you can tap it for a white or a black. And 9 Swamps. Sorceries, we have 4 Rite of Consumption, 1 in a black sorcery. As an additional cost to play Rite of Consumption, sacrifice a creature. Rite of Consumption deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target player. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. And 4 Essence Harvest, 2 in a black. Target player loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Enchantment, we have 5 enchantments. 3 Phyrexian Unlife. 2 in a white enchantment. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. As long as you have 0 or less life, all damage is dealt to you as though its source had infect. So it is a interesting card because you can't lose the game for having less than 0 life, but the other problem would be that everything else has infect, so you still can lose the game. 2 Sanguine Blood, 3 in double black. Enchantment, whenever you gain life, target player loses that much life. Pretty good. And for our sideboard, we have 15 cards as normal. 4 Rebuff the Wicked, 1 white. Counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. A very good card. 4 Sign in Blood, double black. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. 1 Phyrexian on life. We already read this. I'm not going to go over it again. 4 Solemnity. 2 in a white enchantment. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. Very interesting one, but very helpful at times. And finally, to end it all, 2 Repay in kind, 5 and a double black. Sorcery, each player's life total becomes the lowest life total among all players. So if your life total is 0 and you have Phyrexian on life out, this just wins the game. Pretty good stuff. And that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to help support the channel even more, check out the links below. There's some good stuff down there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.